Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Fred wins the die roll and starts us off. He draws and plays a forest. Charles' turn has him playing Evolving Wilds, sacrificing it to find a mountain, and passes. Mika plays a Maestros Theater, which as it comes in, sacrifices itself and goes to find him a swamp, island, or mountain. My turn just has me playing a tapped Restless Ridgeline. Starting us off for turn 2, Fred has got a forest for turn, and pays 1 green for an Allosaurus Shepherd. Charles' turn has an island coming in, and he pays 2 for a Humble Defector. Mika just plays a tap Steam Vents. I've got a Carplusian Forest, and ship it to Fred. Fred's got a forest for turn, and brings out his 3-drop with the Wood Elves. As it comes in, he goes to find another forest. Charles draws for turn, and plays an island. He then casts an Ironcrag Pyromancer, and then activates his Defector. This draws him 2, which in turn triggers the Pyromancer, and he deals 3 damage to Mika. He also donates the Defector to me. Mika's got an island for turn, and then pays 3 mana for Thassa. I play a Command Tower, and tap 3 mana for Kadama's Reach, finding a basic to the field, and a basic for my hand. Fred's turn has him playing a tapped Mosswort Bridge, and he hides away a card from his top 4. He then casts his commander, Oviya Automech Artisan, and he passes after she resolves. Charles draws for turn, and brings out his commander with Ian Malcolm. He then plays a Fiery Islet for turn, and ships it after that. Mika scries 1 on his upkeep, and then draws for turn. He plays a Sulphur Falls, and then brings out a Stirring Bard. As the Bard enters, he gets the initiative, and enters the Undercity. He goes into the first room to find a basic, and passes after that. I've got a Battlefield Forge for my land drop, and have enough mana to cast Huatli. As she enters, I go to find a basic Plains to put to hand, and pass after that. Fred's turn has him activating Oviya, which in turn lets him put to field a Shaya. His non-tokens are now forests, and he has enough power as well to activate the Mosswort Bridge. This allows him to cast the Hidden Avenger of Zendikar underneath it, which enters. Fred layers the triggers though, so he'll make the plant tokens first, making 9, and then gets to add a +1/+1 counter to them because the Avenger of Zendikar is also a forest. Charles just plays an island and casts Shahab Nar Isle. With nothing else, he passes. Mika's upkeep has him scrying 1 from Thassa, and he moves further into the Undercity, scrying 2 more. He then draws for turn, and plays out an island. Mika then taps out for Obeka, and once his commander's out, puts a Cloud of Dominus onto her. Going to combat, he swings at me, and I double block her because of Menace to prevent the upkeeps from getting out of control. With his combat step over, so is his turn as Mika passes to me. I play the Plains for turn, and then tap enough for Pantlaza. As my commander comes in, I discover 4, and reveal until I hit a Progenitor icon, which in turn comes into play. I pass after that. Fred surprisingly has no land for turn despite being in green, and he uses Song of the Dryad and enchants it onto Ian Malcolm. He then once more activates Oviya, and this time puts out Tusky. This triggers the Avenger because Tusky is also a forest as it comes in thanks to a Shaya. He then swings his board of tokens at Mika, with a Shaya and the Avenger going at Charles. Mika blocks 1 token with a Bard, and Charles blocks a Shaya with the Shah, and they both take the rest. This has Fred drawing a bunch of cards thanks to Tusky, plus gains the initiative, and this allows him to go and find a basic as he enters the Undercity. 3 mana that gets him at the Growing Rights of Itlimoc, and he looks at his top 4, but has nothing to reveal. He then passes, easily transforming the Growing Rights into Itlimoc, Cradle of the Sun. Charles draws for turn, and casts a Mana Geyser, making 16 red mana from the tapped lands his opponents control. He then pays 1 red for a gamble, going to find a card, and once he puts it to hand, randomly discards a fire diamond, which I'm pretty sure isn't what he tutored for. He then uses 6 of that mana for a coveted jewel, drawing 3 as it comes in, and this gets him an Ironcrag Pyromancer trigger, which deals 3 to Oviya. He then plays a Cascade Bluffs as his land for turn, and then taps the jewel for 3 blue. He uses some of that floating red to help cast Chaos Warp, and targets a Shaya with it. This has Fred shuffling a Shaya in, and reveals off the top a Castle Garenbrig, which comes into play. This once more triggers his Avenger, and puts an additional +1/+1 counter onto his plant tokens. Charles then casts a Deceiver Exarch, which as it enters, untaps his coveted jewel. He then uses 3 of his floating red mana to help cast a Molten Psyche, which doesn't have Metalcraft active. Fred has a response using Return to Nature, and targets the jewel. With that on the stack, Charles floats 3 more blue mana with it before it's destroyed. We then all bottom our hands, and draw that many cards. Charles then casts a Temple Bell, and once it's out, activates it to have the table draw another card. He then casts a Pestermite, untapping the bell as it enters, and then Charles taps it again to have the table draw another card. Charles then follows up with a Thought Vessel, and follows that up with a Magus of the Wheel. He passes after that. Mika scries 1 and bottoms it, and then draws her turn. He plays an Exotic Orchard, and then taps 6 mana for Inspiring Refrain. This has him drawing 2 cards, and he suspends the refrain with 3 suspend counters. Going to combat, he swings Obeka at me, which sadly connects. This gives Mika 4 more upkeeps. He scries 1, and removes a counter on the refrain from the first one, and does it again for the second one. On the third one, he draws 2 from the refrain, and puts it back into suspend with 3 counters, and scries. He then moves to his 4th upkeep, scrying 1 more time with Thassa. With all that filtering done, Mika passes. I play a Rugged Prairie for turn, and tap my Battlefield Forge, taking 1 to get a red, to cast a much needed Blasphemous Act. This wipes away the board of everything but Toski since it's indestructible. I then pay another 3 mana for Garruk's Uprising, and then pay 4 mana for Curious Altasaur. Sadly, it doesn't trigger the Uprising, and I just pass to Fred. Fred puts 2 +1/+1 counters onto Toski from the Undercity trigger, and draws for turn. He plays a Reliquary Tower, and then brings back out Oviya. He follows up with a Fyndhorn Elves, and then tapping his Idlamok for 3, uses the rest of his lands to help cast Bane of Progress. This is one of my absolute favorite cards in green, and it's got me wondering, what is your favorite green card? As it comes in, it destroys all artifacts and enchantments, and gets 5 +1/+1 counters. Fred then goes to combat, and he hits Charles with Toski for 3. This has Fred drawing a card, and he passes after that. Charles plays his own Reliquary Tower for turn, and then activates the Fiery Islet, sacrificing it to draw a card. As this is his second draw for turn, he gets to exile his top card with Ian Malcolm's ability, which is a Whirlpool Warrior. 2 more mana then gets him Lightning Greaves, which as it enters, he then pays 0 to equip it onto Malcolm. He passes after that. Mika scries 1 and draws for turn. He plays out a Replicating Ring, and then follows up with Nasari, Dean of Expressions. He's done after that. I've got a Clifftop Retreat for turn, and then cast Pantlaza. I get to discover first, revealing until I hit Domri, Anarch of Bolas. I then uptick the Walker to make it green, and use my last land to help cast Rampant Growth. I pass while searching for a basic. Fred's upkeep has him moving further into the Undercity, and he picks the room to go to creature, goading Nasari on Mika's side. He then draws for turn, and taps 12 mana worth of lands to cast a Finale of Devastation where X is 10. This allows him to tutor for everyone's favorite green finisher, Craterhoof Behemoth, plus pumps his board by +10/+10. With the hoof entering, this then pumps his creatures by a further +5/+5 and gives them trample, not to mention Oviya giving them trample already. He then swings 2 creatures at Mika and 3 at me, taking us both out in combat. This has Fred drawing from Toski, and after drawing his second card, he has to exile his top card to Ian Malcolm's ability, which is a Seedborn Muse. Fred's second main phase then has a Sensei's Divining Top coming in, and he activates it to rearrange his top 3 before passing to Charles. Charles draws for turn and knows when he's beat, scooping it up to Fred and his green army. Game review time. So this was a bit of a shorter one with mono green doing its thing and Smash and Face really fast. I will say that Finale of Devastation is a fantastic card and Fred did a really good job with it in this game, but I think the MVP might have been that Mosswort Bridge. It allowed Fred to get out the Avenger of Zendikar super early, not to mention the fact that it works so well with Ashaya. His plants were going to get really dangerous, and Toski was having him draw so many cards. I think that's what really pushed him over the edge this game. I think that's the card that really pushed him ahead in this game. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.